What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to Dub S World. We're gonna do this one. We're gonna do this one on the baby channel. Me and Gun, we were chilling, chopping it up, talking about the ways of the world, the ways of YouTube, and what did we come up with, Gun?
Milk's the poop butt. That's what we came. That's what we came straight. Hey, how is it that I made a video today?
We're gonna go there.
Look, I made a video today apologizing to Lefty Gunplay, saying, "Man, I got to be part of the solution, not the problem." And I start off this video by saying, "Milk74 is a poop butt."
Yeah. I didn't know that part was coming, but hey, it just happened. Hold on, yeah. But nah, look. We are gonna talk about milk. Hold on, let's get that in there. Hold on. I don't know if you guys could hear. Sometimes this thing works, sometimes it doesn't. Let me move it over here. But I think Gunner feels the way I feel. I don't know. I can't speak for him. That's why we do this. Milk74 was on fire. I've said it before. I'll say it again. He was looking like he was going to be the next end of sentence 1090 Jake. He was going to blow up. He was going to pass everybody up. He was making great money. And along the way, he built his channel up as the Adam Killer, the Adam Slayer, the Gilligan Slayer. He was calling Adam Chomo this, Chomo that, and wanted to fight him and did all this stuff. And boom,
lo and behold,
he went over there and he hands in his like this. He was right there agreeing with everything Adam had to say, and his channel took a major hit. And then something else happened, and who knows what it was, and we didn't see him for a little while, and I was glad to see Milk come back. I was glad to see him come back, and I was like, okay, cool, he's back on the grind. We enjoy seeing other people do their thing. It can inspire us, whatever, right? But what I don't enjoy is he's got 2 days in a row banging away on Lefty. I think that's a terrible look.
I do too. Especially the context of the content is the thing that, to me, it's different if he has a reasonable reason. See, I'm rhyming today. If he has a reasonable reason to go in or to say what he's saying, but does his words hold credibility after damn near giving Adam a reach around over the no jumper desk? It's kind of like whatever he says now, it ain't worth caca to me. That's just the way I'm looking at it. I mean, we're talking about a man who built his whole channel upon the back of another man going in on him, saying that this and that, and then at the end of the day went and damn near sat on his lap. I don't get it, so how's he gonna go in on Lefty? And from what I'm taking from it, from what I've seen, Dubs, he's his whole reasoning behind it is he's gonna throw his cape on it and try to save the black community because of some things Lefty Gunplay said, right? But you ain't black, is it? Right? Look, I know you're trying to grow your waves out with your hair. You said it yourself, right? I know you're trying to do your thing, Milk, and I respect it, man. Shout out to the brothers out there, man, the real black community, right?
Absolutely.
But Milk, that's not a good look for you to try to go in on a Mexican, man. You're in black and brown business. You got to stay in your lane, homie.
Here's the thing, and this is a social media thing. It's a complete social media thing. So all of the blacks who have sat down, had drinks, smoked some herb with Lefty, who have actually been in his presence and had a personal interaction, I don't hear not one of them saying he's a racist. No. Are they happy with what he said? I don't believe so. I just did a video on the other channel, and I said not every question deserves an answer, and that was one of those that topic shouldn't have brought up, because racism in America is a very touchy topic, right? I also said in my video, and I'm glad that we decided to do this, because I want to give this example, and I've given this example in other videos. I'm not justifying in any way what Lefty had to say, but that's Lefty's opinion, right? And I'm going to tell you, in the video I did earlier, I said he's saying that based on life experience, how he grew up, and other things. There are other people of other nationalities that feel the same way. that they would like to see their daughter or their son be with someone that looks like them. That's not a racist thing. However, because of the way Lefty said it's racist in Southern California, he opened the door for people to say something. But I want to say something. I've told this story before, and I'll tell it again. I have been in prison where blacks were calling Mexican women that they saw out their back window in Ad Seg going to visiting, calling them animals. They were not human. I've been in Ad Segs. It's always in Ad Seg where people can't get to each other and people are mad about something that they start woofing behind doors. I've heard blacks say, use derogatory racial slurs towards Mexicans and say, we're going to fuck all your women and water your race down. I don't know that Lefty's been through that, but I wouldn't be surprised if he has, because a lot of raza have been through that and heard that. So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. I'm not justifying, again, I'm not justifying what he said. I really think that his handlers, the people around him, need to remind him every interview. Listen to every question before you answer, and you determine in your mind, is it even worth answering? Every interview that he does should be about his business, promoting his business. Right. And you know, in the second video that Milk put out, he read a statement by Lefty, and Lefty said, I'm not going to be fake. I'm not going to be one of these people that get on social media and says what everybody wants to hear. I can agree with that. But but not every fucking question deserves an answer. In the social media thing, you got trolls that are trying to trip you up and get that soundbite that will never disappear. That's never going to disappear. You have people who are going to interview you that have an agenda. Their agenda is to get the most clicks, the most views, the most comments, the most shares. Remember that.
So they're always gonna pick through the conversation for the points where there's drama, controversy.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's what they do. It's what they're aiming for. I'm a content creator. I know this, right? Here's my thing with what he said. Again, like you said, I agree. It's all up to your perception of things and what you believe, what you've been through. Every man's been through something different in their life. Everyone has different opinions. All opinions matter, right? But there's times and places to state them opinions and times that you shouldn't, right? Whatever he said, it's out there now. And so now people like Milk are going to try to pick through it and find the most controversy and try to make it something that it isn't or wasn't intended to be, right? It was that man's opinion. It's his children, his life, his lifestyle. It's up to him to make them decisions, you know, how he feels, you know, and it could be later on. I don't think he's gonna not love his child if his child comes home with a black man or any other.
Of course,
he'll love his child regardless. It's just, you know, when you, just like we did that test the other day, when you envision your daughter's marriage, you automatically, the brain is seeing something else. Now, whatever it may be, when you open your eyes, that's what it is. You know, as long as your child's happy, this man protects your child. That's all that should matter. Doesn't matter their color or whatever, right? You know, that's why I think, like, even speaking for the black community, right? They have HBCUs, right? For those that don't know what that is, those are black only colleges, or the majority of black. Yeah. And they do that for one reason and one reason only is they're going through some of the same struggles together, man. And it makes them feel like an added bonus to have people around them that are into the same things. A lot of these colleges teach their history, you know, their culture, things like that. And my cousin, man, he went to San Diego State, which is a mix of all people, but he took like Latin studies and he took Mexicano history and Chicano studies. And, you know, people are interested in their culture. So that's why you have like HBCUs. That's what they're all interested in that. Doesn't mean they're racist. Doesn't mean they don't want to be around anyone else. It just means they have a common interest. So that's what they do. So it's kind of like the same thing, man. A lot of in the Mexican culture, man, we're raised a certain way, just like blacks are raised a certain way. So we want to be around our own. Doesn't mean we dislike the other people or dislike them. It's just you're more comfortable around people that look similar to you. I think a lot of the blacks will agree. You know, you give them the choice, they're going to want to be around, you know, people that they feel they have more in common with, I guess.
Well, you know, I'll give an example. Me being so my sister is 15 years younger than me. She was born when I was in YA. I got out for 5 months. So my daughter, my sister didn't really get to meet me and still doesn't know me that well, right? But didn't really get to meet me until I got out. I was 43 years old, right? And, and then, a lot of you guys already know the story. My daughter, her mom was 8 weeks pregnant when I got busted for my murder. And when I got out, she was 24, right? And with both of these young women, while I was incarcerated, do you know what I stressed to them the most when it came to relationships? Never be with a gang member.
Yeah.
Never. I told my daughter, look at what I put your mom through. I told my sister, look at what I've done with my life. Don't ever be with a gang member. And there's people that be like, oh, fucking Dubs is hating. No, we want the best for our kids. You know what I'm saying? We want the best for our loved ones. And so that I stressed it. And thankfully, neither one of them, my daughter or my sister, were never with gang members. And it was like the one thing I stressed the most to them.
Yeah.
And I told them, look at me as an example, what I've done. Because that's what they have in store for you. The real ones, that's what they have in store for you. Absolutely. Another thing I wanted to point out real quick, I've never told this story. And it dawned on me right now when we're talking about content creators and how they'll try to trip people up. I don't know how many of you guys saw when I posted. I don't know if I put it on my IG. I think I had it on my TikTok. But there was a time a while back, maybe about 8 months ago, maybe a year ago now. I was in Vegas, kicking it with Corrupt. And I was told, I showed up late. I got there late. My flight was, delayed a little bit. I got there late. And Fig was there, a bunch of people were there, and we're having a good time. I got there late. By the time I got there, everyone had already been drinking, and I was sober, just showed up, and I was told, hey, go ahead and interview the homie, talking about Corrupt. And I like to hold myself to a certain standard, believe it or not. And there have been people that don't like Corrupt, that have beef with Corrupt in the past, and they talk about his drinking. And I knew if I would have sat down and had an interview with Corrupt, it would have been great for the channel. But he had been drinking.
It painted him in a bad light. Yeah.
And I said, there's no way I'm going to have an interview with him. And he wasn't belligerent or anything like that. It was, I am not going to give anyone who hates on this dude another opportunity to say, look at him, he's been drinking again.
Yeah, right? You're not going to give him a bullet.
Well, I said, hey, if we get a chance again, and we're both, at the beginning, the front end, when we just start sipping or whatever, let's do that. But it's a rarity. It's a rarity in social media for people to do that. If anything, they would have been like, oh yeah, he's buzzed. I can ask him this, and that's not me. So, people always, oh yeah, everything you do, Dubs, you do for the views. Well, that's how we make our money. Yeah. But I'll never burn nobody. And this is getting back to what Milk is doing. I have nothing against Milk, but I feel like, look, you're trying to make a comeback. You got it. You don't gotta shit on this youngster, man. Perfect example is the thing with Gunner. He felt like you were getting in the way of his money. That's the way he's viewing it. That's not what your intent was. But when Milk is going back to back, he said, Lefty put out his statement on IG, and Milk read the whole statement and then just said, that's all bullshit. Basically said, fuck what he's talking about. That's all bullshit. He's just utilizing blacks for features and to get on. He's already on.
Yeah. Kind of like the same thing you're doing, right, Milk?
Yeah.
Look, regardless of where you're from and how you grew up and who raised you, you're always going to be what you are. And that's a white man. Just like I'm always going to be a brown man, and Corrupt's going to be a black man. And we got to face reality of what we are. Doesn't matter how we grew up, who we grew up around, who we were raised by, none of that. You are what you are, man. That's the way God intended you to be. And that's what you are. Okay. So when you sit there and in one breath say, oh, you're just utilizing the black culture and this and that to get on, to put you on, to do this, you're doing the same thing, man. By your mannerisms, the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, 4 different ways, you're using different things. And again, I have no beef with Milk either. I interviewed Milk before, and he told a good story. He was a dishwasher and did all that. And man, he came from nothing. And I respect that.
I like that story.
Hustle. I respect his hustle, man. But again, like you said, he doesn't need to be going in on a youngster, especially a youngster. Okay, we're talking about guys that need guidance and help and need to be uplifted, man, rather than tore down right from the gate. You know, Lefty has enough people going in on him and talking shit to him and laughing at him rather than with them, than to just be, again, another one adding to the problem, like I was myself, right? I'd take a step back, reanalyze it. Now, I've never come from a place of hatred. I've always come from a place of, man, I just want to see him bubble. But I give hard criticism sometimes, and it's just too real. A lot of people get their feelings hurt. It's just the way it is, right? But with Lefty, he spoke some realness, so I had to speak some realness back. Real recognizes real. With Milk, he speaks a lot of realness too, and he's pretty blunt, but his observations seem biased in this instance.
And you know, here's my thing. As a content creator, him making the first video, absolutely. But to double down on it and basically say, nah, he's full of shit, he's just using the community, is basically what he said. That's kind of reaching, big dog. And you know, he's gonna probably see this and maybe he react to it. Believe me, you don't want us to go back and forth roasting, man. It's not even like that, man. We're all content creators. We're saying what we got to say. I just feel like it's kind of fucked up. This is another situation where the people that know him, look at, just recently, you had a lot of blacks saying they had major love for Lefty, for the things that he was saying, the way he was doing his thing, his whole get down. And this one thing that he did, it allows people to twist the narrative, to forget how he has interacted with people, how much respect and love he has shown people. They want to throw all that out the window and say, no, that's not the real him. This is. But he's still fucking with people. He's still open to fucking with people, you know? So I feel like it was just, it's somebody trying to shut him down. And when we have so many opportunities, well, no. When we have so few opportunities of people in position to try to bring more understanding between the black and brown community, those few that we have, we should try to nurture those things, right?
I agree.
And push that shit, keep it back the decades it was in. Stop talking about, especially these youngsters, man, that weren't really around during that phase when it was really on down here. Like, man, let that go already. Let's get money. That's what we try to do on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know?
Try to build a community and help each other. You know, you're always gonna have instigators like Adam and liars like Wes, and just certain people that play their lane, man, and play it well, right? You need to be able to decipher, realize what you're dealing with, and do something different, right? There's also a community here of content creators on YouTube and all social media that are trying to get it the right way. But we can't constantly tear each other down. And again, you know, towards Milk, man, no, you know, just some harsh criticism, no fucking beef. We don't need that. You don't need that, right?
It's bad for business.
It's bad for business, man. Believe me.
I don't like that type of energy. Go ahead.
So bad, very bad for everything. But like I said, I agree with the first video. Every content creator did one. It was hot news, man. We're all gonna give our input on it, our 2 cents. But that double down, if this man put out a statement saying, hey, this is how I feel, this is what it is, and then to sit there, read it, and then say, it's all bullshit. Who are you to tell that man what is and what isn't bullshit? You don't have to agree with everything he says, but I think it's just keeping the pot stirring for views. Is what I think it is.
True story.
And nothing more. Like you know damn well, Milk, that if Lefty was right there on No Jumper, and we know you go to No Jumper now all of a sudden, and you were there, the conversation would be totally different. You know, so if you're gonna keep it real, keep it real. When you're in the wrong, be in the wrong. When you're in the right, be in the right. But in this one, I think you're very wrong. And instead of trying to help and uplift and say, you know what, we're going to give him a chance, man. We're going to see what he's all about. He's done more good by the black people than he has wrong. That I've noticed, that I've seen. You know, I know personally, I just heard a story. I'm not going to say his name, but a particular rapper, a well-known rapper, man, that actually had a lot of love for Lefty and has now decided, and this is just rumor, but has now decided, man, we can't rock with him like that anymore off of one statement, right? And I understand some people do feel that way. So that's why we have to watch as content creators what we say, because that little bit of information we put out there could steer people in the wrong direction. And a lot of these people might not have even heard the original statement of what Lefty said in all actuality, all the way out, right? They're only hearing what other content creators say about it, and that could steer them the wrong direction, you know? And it's unfortunate.
And honestly, I don't hear any content creator, regardless of nationality, ethnicity, whatever, saying that it was the right thing to say. I think everybody's saying that's you know, that shouldn't have been said, but it was, and that's how he feels. But it's how he feels with his family. He's you know, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna rehash it. I'm pretty sure he's probably like, fuck, another video. Why don't everybody just shut up about it? And this is a lesson for everybody. Whatever is said on social media never goes away.
I know.
Gunner and I know.
Hey, that's right, Milk. You're not a poop, but the first one, let's make it go away.
Yeah. Hey, I knew we were going to talk about Milk, but when he started out like that, I was like, oh shit.
I had to come in hard. Milk, I had to come in hard. It's that haircut. It fucks me up every time.
Hey, what's it? Milk. Hey, fade it up, man. One time. Hey, fade it up, Holmes. Clean it up. You know, sharpen that up, Holmes, because it looks like. Look, I'm glad you don't have that long ass hair with the shit always like this, fucking sticking out everywhere. But it looks like you're fighting to get back to it quick. Come on now, comb that shit.
Throw a do-rag on that shit or something.
Did he really say he wants to get waves?
He said he wants to get finger waves. He's you know, Milk. Look, bro.
Milk, your hair is not capable, big dog.
Yeah, let it go, bro. Let it go. You know what I'm saying? That shit
anyway, we're gonna get in trouble.
There's not a person out there that ain't watching this that will ever go to Milk's barber. Shout out to Milk's barber. But
hey, I know. How did he do that? Shit on his barber didn't like him. Yeah, he didn't like him.
And I bet you got that
like line of hair right here that was sticking out like that. I was like, how did he do that?
This shit looked like turbo on one side. It was breakdancing.
That was antennae.
This shit was going like this. Milk, you got a fucked up ass fade, bro. That ain't no fade.
Milk, take the criticism and run with it, man. But
yeah, it's all
I
good,
honestly don't think that the youngster needed to be called a liar. And you know, it is what it is. Though, as content creators, we make what we make and we stick with it, right?
Got to stand firm.
Hey,
right?
This is already over 20 minutes, probably way long. We probably lost everybody halfway through. But those of you that are still here, matter of fact, I was gonna say right finger wave in the chat. Don't do that because that could be two things. What do we have? You know, a lot of the gamers, they do that to see who stuck around the longest. They have them say a certain thing. What do we want them to type in the chat? In the comment section.
Fucking poop butt. If you were there in the beginning, you know what
that's what we're rocking with. If you're still around and you saw this part, write poop butt in the comment section. Don't write milk. We're not really thinking he's a poop butt.
Hey, look, I like Milk. I like Milk. To be honest with you, I like Milk. He has some good content, man. What do you play, Michael Bolton?
This is like a loving conversation right here. Love. I put on the romantic piano set.
Hey, let me tell you, Milk. Coming from the gun to Milk. I'm glad you're not washing dishes, bro. You've leveled up in the game. That sitting down with that Chomo Adam. That knocked some points off for me. That haircut, that knocked a few more points off from me. That talking about Lefty, that knocked a few more points off from me. But I know you're gonna do it 7-4 different ways, homie. So there's always the
we'll end it right there. It's all love to everybody, man. We're just having fun. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. Gun, you got anything to add?
No, again, I just wanted to say, man, for all the content creators that are out there, keep doing what you do, man. It's what we do it for. Again, for all the people that are watching, you know, just know we're having fun with this. We could take a serious subject and turn it into comedy and have fun with it. Life is what you make of it, man. Stop being so serious all the time. Enjoy life, man. You only have one, you know? And shout out to Milk's Barber. And there it is.
Shout out to Milk's Barber. We don't ever want to know who you are again.
Never.
Shit, I was going to say something else and I forgot. Oh, before we go, we're halfway to monetization on this channel. That's my fault, not yours, because when I put something out, you guys are watching it. I just got to put more stuff out. Thank you guys, man. We appreciate you.
Let's get it, man.